on the male reproductive mannequin structures. These are really good pictures. I included those with the video, the document I use for these videos. I'm going to make a male and female video document for this particular part, because some of these parts are very small. No pun intended. But I'm going to go, well, here is the pictures I gave you. So here's our list. Now, it goes all the way to here, and then here's the female. I'll do that on a separate video. So just going down this list is testes, epididymis, vas deferens. I'll do my best. Some of these mannequin structures is kind of hard to see through a picture, but here is a blank diagram. Now you have access to all of this. All of these diagrams, they are actually right here under the reproductive lab. And I like when you click on them so you can make these bigger or smaller. I like that in an online setting. Alright, so just to start at the top, so here are the testes in a really good, this is a great picture. And they're actually suspended away from the body in a sac called the scrotum. This little fold on top is the epididymis, and then this, well, starting about right there, and that cord that goes around like this is called the vas deferens, and it comes around to the back of the bladder. Now on the urinary lab model video, you can see they're white colored on the back of the bladder in the male model that we have. Here's the prostate. Here are the seminal vesicles. They look like little orange spongy things in the urinary mannequin video. Here is, if you take out the reproductive system, here's the bladder. See on the back, here's the vas deferens. See, that comes all the way down like this, that tube. Here are the seminal vesicles. This is the prostate. On each side here represents something I'll show you in a minute. We'll get to that in a second. And then here is the penile urethra, and you can actually see on top the layers of what are called erectile tissue. And, well, and there are the testes, obviously. And then here's the epididymis, and then there's the vas deferens. So going back, testes, epididymis, I showed you that. I showed you the seminal vesicles, the prostate, and then we'll get to all the rest of this, the bulbourethral glands and the layers. Sorry. All right, so I'm going to go right back. So let's do this. All right, so just to orient yourself, here's the bladder. So here are the seminal vesicles. Now, this little crease that goes, and I'm actually going to use this because I can get super close. See that? Here's the prostate. See this crease that comes down in here? That's called the ejaculatory duct. The vas deferens, you can see, comes around this way, and that's carrying sperm. The prostate, the seminal vesicle, make the fluid. That's referred to as semen, and this tube is carrying sperm, and that's what a vasectomy is, when the tubes are cut so that a person still has semen, but the goal would be to have semen without the sperm for birth control. So there's the ejaculatory duct, and then here's the bladder. So this is the urethra, and you can see where the ejaculatory duct empties in right there. That little guy there is called the bulbourethral gland, and it actually secretes a fluid. It's called pre-ejaculate fluid. It's mainly for lubrication. It would release its contents first, and then everything else kind of follows that afterwards. And let me click on, here is, okay, now the top structure, this is called the corpora, or corpus, depending on what book it is. Cavernosum, this is the corpus spongiosum. With the holes, that's erectile tissue. The spongiosum, surrounds the urethra, and this is the cavernosum on top. And I'll show you, well, the glands and the penis, we haven't quite got there, I guess. But I showed you the bulbourethral gland, the urethra, and then these two layers. So, of course, here is the penis is this, and it does have two layers of what's called erectile tissue. Now the very tip is called the glans, and it's usually covered at birth. It's actually covered by a fold of skin called the prepuce. That's what's taken off during a vasectomy. So here's the glans. See the purple? That's the corpor. Let's see what term we're using. Corpus, okay. Corpus cavernosum. This is the corpus cavernosum. And then all of this is the corpus spongiosum. And here is the cavernosum. See the purple? And the openings represent, it's erectile tissue. That's where the blood is flowing into. And then that area around it is the spongiosum. And this is the urethra that goes around that. Okay, so on an actual mannequin, let's do all the parts that we can see. So there's the bladder. Believe it or not, that's the prostate. This is a seminal vesicle. Here's the penis. There's the glands. Here are the testes. And you can get closer. Once again, I also gave you these videos. I gave you these diagrams as well. If we go back, and I should be able just to minimize this. There we go. Male, let's see. All right. Well, I will post those for you. All right, here is, so there's the testes. This is the epididymis. And then you can see this kind of, epididymis is where the sperm is stored. And then going around that way, and you can barely see it. See, this, not this, this is a ureter. That going that way is the vas deferens. So it's going to connect in the back. On the next picture, okay, this is like a cross section. See, now you can see the inside of the bladder. You can see the penis has been sectioned. The white on top is the corpus cavernosum, and then that tissue around, this is the urethra, is the corpus spongiosum. Testes, the epididymis is here, and you can, if you follow it up, well, in this case, they took off the part with the vas deferens, but you can see the prostate. You can see the urethra going through the prostate, and see this little area there, the crease? That's called the ejaculatory duct. And that's where, that's like I was saying, sperm get into the urethra through that area right there. So that's the ejaculatory duct. A little closer view. The glans, penis, the testes, the epididymis is there. And actually you can now see, I'm going to back it up a little bit, make it in the middle if I can. It's just showing the vessels involved, but you can actually see the cord. See the vas deferens that goes around that way? That's the seminal vesicle, that's the prostate. Now if you were to get close and you have that kind of, well, this is even closer. The testes, the epididymis, here's the corpus cavernosum, and then here would be the corpus spongiosum. And then that tube is the urethra. Yeah, testes, the epididymis. Going up. Okay, yeah, that's about it. Okay, and this is an up close of to the bladder. Here's the prostate. There's the urethra. It's called the prostatic urethra. Here is the ejaculatory duct. That little crease in here. All right, and then I'm going to back this up. This is just another model diagram. Testes, the epididymis, here's the penis, here's the glans, penis, there's the prostate. This one I like because they actually took off the part. Oop. You can see on the back, there's the seminal vesicle. It looks like a waffle. You can still see the vas deferens going around that way. This is one where it's cross-section. Here's the corpus cavernosum. All of that would be the corpus spongiosum. The tube would be the urethra. Here are the testes. Here's the epididymis. There's the bladder. There's the prostate. And then the urethra going through it. And then that little crease is the ejaculatory duct. And super up close, corpus cavernosum. Here is the corpus spongiosum, all of that. And then there's the urethra. I think it's a really good diagram. And you can actually see here, here's the seminal vesicle, There's the vas deferens coming around. There's the prostate. There are the testes. That's supposed to be the scrotum, which is not on your list. But that's all of the male reproductive parts.